Hello, everybody, and welcome to another cup of self-empowerment to trust, heal, and be thyself. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome a very special lady into our cuppa house today, and she's going to have some beautiful wisdom and some golden nuggets, which she's going to share with us ladies, which I'm really, really excited about how this is going to land with everybody who's with us today. And for those who don't know Tracie, I'd like to welcome Tracie Sweeney into the house. So welcome, Tracie.
Wow. Thanks so much, Kelly. I'm excited to talk with you. We're just sitting down. If I can't
We're
sit
just
down with
having
you
a
in
cuppa and
person,
we're just gonna just
this
see
is how
how.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd like to give our viewers a little bit background knowledge about you, Tracie. So I like to invite my guests to take this moment to actually receive as well, for you to receive, because we have our bios, we know what we do and everything, but we always give that out, and we're processing it, we're writing that down, we're sharing that with someone else, and this is the moment where I really like you to receive that and own it and just embody it, because this is very, very special. So everybody, menopause does not spell the end of life. It prepares you for a profound time of empowerment, your crone years. Tracie Sweeney's purpose is to guide and mentor menopausal women through a healthy midlife transition so they can embrace their cronehood. She wants women everywhere to age unapologetically and reclaim the word crone as a title of honor. She earned her master coaching certification for precision nutrition and international leader in coaching for deep health. Before turning to full-time coaching, Tracie spent 4 decades as an award-winning writer and editor, because curiosity is her superpower. So welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you so much. That's me in a nutshell, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful, and curiosity as a superpower. So that kind of leads me straight onto my first question. Would you say that your curiosity led you to start trusting yourself, or how did you actually start trusting yourself on your journey?
Oh goodness. I would say that I started to trust myself pretty early.
Cool.
Um, as I look back, I the things, the interests that I pursued, the courses of study that I pursued, I um I did it because I wanted to follow them. I despite having what may have been a fraught upbringing in certain ways, I was never, my my parents had certainly expectations for me to grow up and thrive, but they never said, you have to go here, you have to do this, you have to be this. And so that was, if it was all on me, okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's
um
amazing to actually be able to have felt that as a child, because most people, a lot of people feel like they're already put straight into that conditioning, or they have that or they feel they have to have this expectation that they have to fulfill, which they might not need to, but they might take it on their own self, that they feel, okay, my parents probably would be really proud of me if I went and done this. But for you to have parents who, said, yeah, it's your free will, you do what you want, and we're 100% behind you, whatever you choose to do. That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah. And I suppose, I also suppose that if I was ever told don't do something, I kind of so maybe there was a little bit of rebellion in there. I don't know.
Absolutely, but that's also absolutely fine. Yeah.
But also, I can also, looking back, I can also see that, as an adult, through certain phases of my life, there were times when there were expectations put on me, whether it was other people putting them on me or me
Yeah.
holding myself to these certain expectations. And I
Mm-hmm.
would say that um so I sew.
Okay.
I enjoy sewing, and um when you sew, sometimes you get fabric. I'm going to hold up my
Mm-hmm.
scarf here.
Oh, that's
When you get
pretty.
it's very pretty.
It's really gorgeous.
um there are times when the fabric gets pulled in certain directions, and it's called being off grain. Fabric has a grain to it.
Okay.
And sometimes that grain gets twisted and torqued. And
Okay.
I would say in the course of living, in the speed of life, things happen to us, and we get off grain. We get
Yeah.
twisted, and we're not, our lines are not true.
Okay. That
And
makes sense.
and so you have to pull and stretch them. You can get your fabric to be on grain again. And that, I think that's what the experience of menopause did for me. When I started menopause,
Okay.
it was like looking back and saying, no, I'm off grain. I'm skewed. Something's not right. And
Uh-huh.
and things feel wrong, and they feel tight, or they feel misplaced. And that experience of menopause comes for many women in their 40s, and things just, they don't feel right. They don't have clarity of thought. They're hot.
In so many ways, of course.
Yes. There's sometimes this rage that comes from, we don't, it's this rage that happens to us, and we don't know where it's coming from. And it's like, who is this woman? And if you are not, there came a time where I realized I needed to reorient.
Okay.
I needed to figure out, to get back on the path, to get that grain straight, to rediscover what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, because I had kind of,
You were off your course. You were off
I was
alignment. You
off my
weren't in
course.
alignment. Yeah.
I was off my course. And for some women, it means they can recapture what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go when they were younger. For some women, it means they can finally aim for what they want to do in the second half of life. So it's this wonderful transition time.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happened to me. Yes, I started off, I did my own thing, and then life comes and squeezes you and pinches you and tamps you down.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, wait a minute, let's figure this out, because I don't want to spend the next half of my life feeling the way I felt in my 40s. I felt pretty lousy.
How did you feel? How did you feel? Maybe, that might be something where people today can relate to, and they might not realize that maybe it's like premenopausal, or maybe it is the menopause, and like they're feeling all this stuff, and they're like, well, I don't know what's wrong with me. So what were you
exactly
going?
Yeah. I was depressed. And depressed,
that's a very big spectrum as well, isn't it?
Sure. And it's not just because of the start of menopause.
Yeah.
It can be that and more.
Of course.
And I was angry for reasons that I didn't know. I would snap at people. And I'm not an angry person.
Okay.
So where did
It was
this
completely out of character for you,
It was
basically.
very out of character. Who is this woman?
Yeah.
Who's snapping at people and just needing to burn things down.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of the way that
okay.
Maybe that's
you don't torch anything, I hope.
No. Well, other than this, so the symptom that many women experience as they begin their menopause transition is a hot flash, or an internal heat wave. Well, in some ways, when you think about it, that is your wise womanhood torching scorching things
she's,
about
yeah,
you,
yeah, I see.
cleansing you with fire.
Mhm.
Um, in some ways.
Yeah,
Let's see
she's
what else.
burning down what she doesn't want anymore, basically.
Right, right. Or the phoenix, right? The phoenix
Yeah.
burns into
Oh, what
ash
a
and
beautiful
is
way to picture
reborn.
it.
It's a
I
great
like
way.
this.
The phoenix is a great imagery for the
Well,
menopause
yeah,
transition.
to put it with the menopause as well, because it's something you wouldn't put the two necessarily together. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So what, let me see, what else did I put on weight.
Mm.
Because I was depressed, I drank more.
Yeah.
And then that makes you feel more depressed, and that
Mhm.
makes you put on more weight.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of like a vicious circle, isn't
it
it?
really
Basically.
is
Mm.
a circle, a spiral.
Mm.
I kept having the sense of when's it my turn?
Uh-huh.
Now my kids were teenagers, and they were classic kids.
Yeah.
They, I have two grown boys. They're beautiful men. Um, but there were some challenging teenage years,
I
and
might imagine.
so trying to help them become established and help them be safe and help them become good human beings. But just like, okay, but when's it
What
my
about me? Yeah, I'm still here.
yeah, yeah. But and the real, I think it took about 10 years to really like real I went in, I saw a therapist,
Yeah.
and I was about 50. So menopause is actually, perimenopause is about 10 years long,
Okay.
when women's menstrual cycle change,
Hmm.
and there are other physical, mental, and emotional changes. But menopause actually begins 1 year after your last menstrual period. So menopause is the word actually is correctly describing you are no longer bleeding.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so I was 50 or 51 when I crossed that threshold,
Okay.
and I was seeing a therapist, and I asked, we were talking about stuff, and I said, when's it my turn? And the answer was, whenever you want it to be.
Oh. Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, it's on me.
You have your own
That was,
permission slip. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the realization that I had some work to do.
Don't we all though? Come on, don't we all? Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah.
do. I would imagine that there have been times for you when you realize nobody's coming to save me.
Hmm. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Without a doubt. And I think that applies to everybody. Everybody who's watching will relate at a moment where they've literally been begging for something from outside of themselves to come and save them. But in theory, that saving actually has to start within here.
So
Yeah.
so when I crossed that threshold, I knew, I sensed
Mm.
that there was something different about me. And I don't mean physically now.
Hmm.
My my brain was thinking in a different way.
Hmm.
And I've talked to other women about it, other women in their 50s, and we didn't quite have the word for it. But when I would say, do you like see the world differently? You feel the world differently? And they
Mm.
go, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I asked my husband about that, and I tried to describe it, and
We couldn't relate.
he couldn't relate. And I recently read a really interesting book, called The Upgrade, just like you
Oh,
would upgrade a computer.
yeah.
And she described, and it's the perfect word for this
Okay.
thing that we experience, because your hormones are no longer going all over the place, monthly cycling.
Yeah.
Your body can start hearing different things
Okay.
and sensing the world in a different way.
Okay.
And it's an upgrade. It's almost a higher level of thinking. It's wisdom.
Yeah.
You can tap into that wisdom easier because the chatter, the noise, it's leveled out. And it's when I tell women that postmenopausal life is amazing and powerful, it is.
No,
Because
you're the perfect picture of that. I mean, seriously, I mean, obviously we all have our moments, you know, we're all having our daily life, and, you know,
completely.
life happens, you know, we're here, we're humans, we're walking our paths, you know, but um the radiance, what you're sharing at your age, and how, like, you know, how lit up you are about it as well, is a validation of, you know, that's something not to be fearful of. It's actually a next, as you say, upgrade is actually a lovely word, because you're moving up to the next level. It's a
And
different level. It's not a
it
level which is
is.
better
It's
or
not
worse.
better.
It's a
No, right,
different level.
right, right.
Yeah.
And it's I'm 66.
Okay.
I have hopefully 20, 30 years of this wisdom to share with, you know, anybody who wants it.
As well as your fitness regime as well. I
Well,
mean, yeah, you
right,
go,
right, yeah.
yeah.
So when I was in my mid 60s, I just among the things that I got in touch with was when I was a teenager, I wanted to be strong and muscular, and society didn't, that was not what girls did.
Yeah.
So that autonomy over my body, that sovereignty over my physicality, that dream got tucked away.
Okay.
And I realized that dream didn't go away, but I had lost that teenager's dream. That teenager was still inside me.
Yeah, and you wanted to heal her and give her what she needed.
I did. So it was like, this may sound overblown. It was my 60-year-old more aware, my upgraded self reached toward that 16-year-old who wanted to be strong and muscular. And I said, it's safe now.
Oh,
And
goosebumps.
integrating that girl into my elderness, my crone.
Yeah, I was going to say, when's she going to say the word crone? Basically, just,
Crone,
you know,
right,
crone,
right.
you just say it. Yeah.
My crone rescued this maiden,
Wow.
and we got strong together,
That's
physically
amazing.
strong, physically strong. I lift weights, and now
Yeah.
I teach and coach
Kettlebell.
other women
Amongst other things.
to do that. But it's also it's also led to an emotional strength and a spiritual strength too. I feel more empowered at 66 than I did at 46, when I wondered who is this angry woman?
Where's she going to go? You know, what's going on with her?
That was my power coming out unguided. Now
Yeah,
I know how
it was
to
unleashing, but wildly.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'll have to explore that a little bit. That's a great visual, like that power was just kind of going.
Yeah, it was being unleashed, but wildly, without a
Yeah,
control. Well, not that we want to
yeah.
control it, but it was, yeah, reactive.
Very much so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm strong and powerful and have wisdom, I started using the word crone, which I used the word crone. I told my mom, and she was horrified
Yeah, but you
because
know, when you say crone, I think a lot of the older generation think, oh my God, it's going to be some battered up old lady with a
ugly.
hunchback and like a hairy face or something like that. Just
Yeah.
like the whole, like, you know, fairy tales,
Yes.
and Gretel kind of thing. But actually, when you say crone, I think crone's so very near to the word crown.
It does.
It's like,
root of
I
the
feel
word
that's like with the
crone.
crown, you're very sovereign.
Exactly. You're the
Yeah.
queen,
Yeah,
right?
basically. Yeah.
And in ancient cultures, these crones, they
They
were
were the queens.
revered.
Yeah.
Yes, they led their communities. The men and women and families went to their crone and sought wisdom and guidance and rulings from them. And that feminine old power was very threatening
Yeah.
to many in society. And so that word got taken
Negative times.
away.
I don't think
Yes.
that's a word. Negative times. I don't know if that's a word. I might have just made that one up.
It was turned into a negative.
Yeah.
Old, dried up, you have no role in society because you no longer can have children.
God,
So
isn't
go
it?
hide in a corner. The same word, hag.
Yes.
So hag comes, the root word means wise. H-A, hagia. I'm not pronouncing it right, but it used to just like crone.
Mm,
Hag used to be kind of an honor, an honorific, and got turned into a witch,
mm.
somebody with who's dried up and mean and evil, and that's not necessarily the case. I prefer crone, so I'm going with that.
I think crown's nicer, as in the
I
word.
like crown.
Yeah, it just makes you think crown. It does. It just sounds. I think it sounds very noble.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
very wisdomful. I'm just
Exactly.
making up words, which is not a good idea when I'm talking to someone who's been for the last 4 decades been doing award-winning writer, and I'm just making up some words. But why
Yeah,
not?
words, uh, words, words have power and meaning, but wisdomful is all right. I'll take that.
Wisdomful, thank you. I'll just have my little grammar lesson while we're at it as well. So I would say, so basically you stepping in and healing that 16-year-old self of yours, that young lady, that young girl, was basically for you a huge start of your journey of healing thyself, I would say, because it really unpacked it all and united. And what I love the fact is that you said you done that together. You built
Yeah,
that together.
yeah,
That
yeah.
strength, that empowerment, that was a joint effort.
It
So that's
was.
really, really beautiful. Yeah. So when would you say, because obviously you had all your trust and then you started doing the healing. Is there a pivotal moment in your life where you would say, okay, that was the moment where I said, hey, this is who I am. This is sovereignly who I am. I am Tracie Sweeney. This is what I do. You don't like it? Take the bus, basically. This is who I am. Is there a moment where you said, this is how I'm going to show up and I don't care what anyone else thinks because I'm being
Oh,
unapologetic me?
in the course of this reuniting,
Mm,
then I would say then and
yeah.
there, um, uh, that because frankly, there are a lot of older people who think that they're too old, it's too late to get strong or to change,
Yeah.
right? They are stuck. Okay, I'll just be here, I'll be stuck.
But as you said, when you're like in your 60s, you've got another good at least 20, 30
Oh
years.
my
And if you
goodness.
really take care and look after that, look after that body, our vessel, which allows us to be here. I think, and then you stop maybe working for that job that you no longer need to work for.
Yeah,
It's actually the moment where you're here to thrive and enjoy your
it
life.
is. It is. It's you have to part of me thinks I would encourage anybody who is not yet 40
Mm-hmm.
to start training for old age.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think as well.
and
Yeah.
and and it's stuff that you've always heard: eat sensibly, move your body,
Mm,
find find out your why.
Mm.
And but that sets that's the groundwork, that's the foundation that you can build on, so that when you are 80 you can still have adventures or still be working if that's your choice.
Yeah, of course.
Or changing careers,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to do. But when you're 80 you still can do it because your body still moves, your mind is sharp. That's you lay the foundation early.
That's a beautiful piece of advice, because that was actually my next question. What advice would you like to share with our viewers? And that just sums it up perfectly.
Oh gosh,
Really.
but it's never too late. So
No, of course not. There's never a deadline, and you also have to step on that path or take that step, even if it's a baby step, when it feels right for you. And we're not all the same. So
we're not. So if I'm going to address women, but if you are a 50-year-old woman and you've never gone to the gym and it's intimidating and you don't know whether you can do it, if you go to a gym and you feel marginalized, go someplace else.
yeah. Maybe it doesn't always have to be a gym. You can do yoga or something. Like, there's so many different things. It could be like just getting out on your bike and cycling somewhere, or hiking or something like that.
Walking.
Yeah, walking.
Walking is perfect movement. And connect, being outside.
Yeah.
So I in terms of saying this is me, I'm often the oldest person doing something in the gym.
I think it's incredible, because, not being funny, if you see someone who's a lot older than yourself and they can do stuff and you can't do it yourself, that bit of like, oh my God, that's, the respect comes there, and a bit like, okay, yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed that I can't do that, for example. But
well, but remove that from a gym and put it anywhere else. If you see a 66-year-old woman leading a group of protesters, if you see a 66-year-old woman saying, I think I'd like to get certified to become a teacher, if you see a 66-year-old woman who says, you know what, I've never held public office before, but I think I'd like to I would like to contribute my voice to the political arena.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that encouragement. Yeah, I really would. So how can you personally help anyone who's like tuning in today and think, right, I'm really resonating with Tracie, and like how can you support them? I mean, you talk about menopausal, but you've got a whole facet of diamonds that you offer people. So, how can people firstly reach out to you, and how can you support them basically?
You can I call myself a menopause coach or a menopause mentor. I have a website, academyofaging.com. I think it's academy-of-aging.com.
Okay.
Where I have information, and there's a blog there. You can find me on social media, where I share. I share thoughts about my garden and ice cream too, but
real. Yeah, you're keeping it real. So
well, right. Yeah. But I have a newsletter.
And people can sign up to your newsletter via your website, I'm sure, right?
Via the website, and I have a podcast.
You have a podcast. Tell us about your podcast.
The podcast is called Academy of Aging, and you can get it. You can find it on wherever podcasts are sold. It's free. On Spotify. It comes out. I interview people whenever I'm motivated to interview people.
Which is fine. You do it in flow.
It comes out whenever.
You're the crone. You get to choose when you take it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel. So I've got some of my podcasts are on the YouTube channel, and a few other videos. And
this is all under Academy of Aging, correct? Or under
Academy
your
of
name?
Aging, YouTube, I think YouTube is Tracie Sweeney.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I should
It
have
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
used the
Absolutely.
search word menopause.
And then boom, Tracy's there going,
And I
hey,
might show up.
come on in.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think it's been absolutely lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think
Oh,
this is a topic which very much gets swept under the carpet, and it's really enlightening that someone's talking about their own personal experience, and obviously there's going to be facets of it which have not been nice, but for you to be completely unapologetically you and say, well, this happened to me, it might not necessarily happen to you, but if it does, I worked through it doing this way. And like, I think it's great that you've got that you are a menopausal coach, but you've also got the whole fitness and health and diet regime behind you. So you've really got like a nice package for someone who is struggling to actually go back and see where you can help weave some more magic into their life.
Yeah. It's talking about old people are like taboo, right? We hide that, and especially if you're a woman, go over in the corner and be quiet. You are of no service anymore. No. Yes, which is why I'm talking about it, which is why I want people to age unapologetically
and gracefully and proudly.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Be who we are, even when we're 82.
Exactly. And be a really cool, fun 82-year-old who's not going to think, oh, I wish I could do that. Can be like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Oh, that's so beautiful. This has been lovely. It's been such a delicious cuppa with you today. It really has. And I'm sure everyone who's been watching this today is equally feeling, really nurtured by this conversation. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You are so wonderful and lovely to talk with, Kelly.
Oh,
you are nurturing. So
thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So everybody, if you feel like you have benefited a lot from this and feel like Tracy's your lady, I highly recommend that you reach out to Tracy, or even, share this cup if you think someone could really benefit, especially if they're going through the menopause right now. I think it's really important that we make this, bring more awareness to this, so that people don't have to suffer in silence and think, why is this crazy, ragey lady going on inside of me? And I want to hide away from her, but she seems to be very much there, kind of thing.
It goes somewhere good.
Good.
I promise.
Good to know. We don't want to be scared about her. So everyone, thank you so much for watching us today, and we wish you a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are in the world. And we look forward to connecting with you again very, very soon. And thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.